All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're tackling a really big question for a lot of UK businesses and property owners, the 50 kilowatt solar system. Now, we know it's a huge investment, so the real question is, what exactly is it, and what could it actually do for your bottom line? Let's break it down.
So why is everyone suddenly looking up at the sun? What's driving this big shift towards these larger-scale solar setups? Well, as you're about to see, it's not just about being green, oh no. There's a very, very powerful financial reason behind all of this.
And there you have it. It's that simple. The number one reason? The relentless, unending climb of electricity prices. You know, that kind of constant financial pressure, it forces you to start looking for a better, more predictable way to keep the lights on. So first things first, let's talk about the rising cost of power. We need to dig into why this has become such a make-or-break issue for so many.
This slide really paints the picture of the squeeze that UK properties are in right now. I mean, on one hand, you've got Ofgem's price caps going up, and on the other, your electrical tariffs are just constantly climbing. It creates this massive incentive to just break free, to start generating your own power instead of being completely at the mercy of the grid.
Which of course brings us neatly to a potential answer for that energy squeeze, the 50 kilowatt solar system.
And really, this is what it all boils down to. A 50 kilowatt system is built to attack that financial pain point head on. The goal is to slash your energy bills, and it just so happens to come with the massive bonus of being a much, much greener way to power your property.
Okay, but let's be real. A solution like this isn't free. It requires a serious upfront investment. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. What does it cost, and what do you actually get for that money? So here it is, the big number. A complete, fully installed 50 kilowatt system, including that, is going to set you back around £62,000. And yeah, that's a substantial figure for sure. But it's so important to see this not as just a cost, but as the starting line for a very long-term investment.
So what does that 62 grand actually buy you? Well, you're getting that 50 kilowatt system, which means you'll have somewhere between 100 and 185 solar panels up on your roof. Now, why the big range? It all comes down to the efficiency of the panels you choose. If you go for the super efficient ones, you'll need fewer of them and they'll take up less space, maybe around 163 square meters. If you opt for less efficient panels, you'll need more of them to hit that 50 kilowatt mark, and that means you'll need almost double the roof space.
Okay, so you've made the initial investment. Now for the most important question, what's the payoff? Let's take a look at the kind of financial return you could expect over the system's 25-year lifespan.
The way this investment pays you back isn't just one thing, it's a 1-2 punch. First, there's the money you save by simply not buying electricity from the grid. And second, there's the money you can potentially earn by selling your extra power back. Let's look at each of those.
First up, the direct savings. Just by generating and using your own electricity during the day, you could be saving nearly £7,100 every single year. That is money that stays right in your pocket instead of going to your energy supplier.
Now for that second pillar, the earnings. This is all possible thanks to something called the Smart Export Guarantee, or SEG. It's a government-backed scheme that basically says certain energy suppliers have to pay you for any extra electricity you produce and don't use, which you then send back to the grid.
And what does that look like in actual money? Well, it could mean earning an extra 3,800 quid a year through the SEG. Now, when you add that to the savings we just talked about, the annual financial benefit starts to look pretty incredible.
So let's put it all together. When you add up all those savings and all those earnings over the full 25 years, you get to this absolutely staggering figure, over £196,000. Let that sink in. That's more than triple the initial £62,000 investment.
And get this, here's the really critical part. That massive savings number, it's actually a conservative estimate. It's based on today's electricity prices. If prices keep going up, which, let's face it, they probably will, your actual savings over those 25 years could be a whole lot higher.
But this whole thing isn't just about the money. There's another massive strategic advantage to think about here. We're talking about energy independence. This is really all about resilience. See, if you add one more key component to the system, a battery for storage, you can save up the power you generate during the day. That lets you move towards being almost completely off-grid, protecting you from future price hikes and power outages. It's a completely different level of energy security and, frankly, peace of mind. So I guess it all comes down to this one question. When you factor in the huge long-term savings,
the chance to actually earn money back, and the priceless security of energy independence, you really have to ask yourself, in an age of rising costs and so much uncertainty, could generating your own power be the single best long-term investment you can make? Something to think about.